Hey there, guys. This is like a part two to the aftermath of toxic relationships, which usually always include a narcissist. So I just wanted to go into more detail about that, considering we're dealing with tough times. Money is funny. Um, in a recession, not in a recession, so on and so on. So with all of that being said, you have to be mindful of who you let into your circle. And, as they say, when people show you who they are, take time and listen. Believe them. Although their words may say, "Oh, I'm changing. Oh, look at this. they're showing some signs of change." But when that consistency is more inconsistent than consistent, it may be time to let that go. You have enough to be concerned with your life and being balanced in your life, achieving your goals. And if you're a parent, you're trying to raise children, and if you're a single parent, you know that you have a lot more on your plate when you're doing things as a single parent. You're having to balance. If you have male and female children, you're a woman. There's only so many things that you can give your daughter or your son. You can't teach your son to be a man. You can teach him how to, treat women and, girls and so on that are, in their presence and so on. But it generally takes a true man to teach them how to be a man. But you can do what you can. That may look like being a part of, a group that can help, or that you can help one another by helping with, childcare, or like a big brother, big sister group, where they can spend time with a trusted, partner or friend that can give them that balance. Excuse me, I do have allergies, and I do have them really bad. So excuse me once again. So, on that note, you have to, especially when there's kids involved, you have to take time and listen. And if you're hearing, some of the same things from different people, and especially people that don't know one another, you have to take a pause and listen. And unfortunately, sometimes when you're dealing with narcissists, they don't allow you that time to take a pause, because everything is rush, because they don't want you to think about it and, say, hey, wait a minute, this is not aligning with what, I'm wanting to do, or the way that I want to go in my life. And that's where the love bombing, spending, lots of money, or even doing, nice things for you. You go out of town, you come back, and, say they've rearranged furniture and done some deep cleaning. You're like, oh, that's nice. However, some of those issues that you've pointed out, they've just kind of glazed over those, because they may, with their words tell you, oh, yeah, or tell you what you want to hear. Oh, yeah, I'd like to, change this, or I'm going to work on this, or I'm, going to counseling. But every time counseling comes along, oh, I don't like this person, or this person I don't connect with, and I don't believe in going there. I don't believe in therapists and counselors. But wait a minute, you were the one that offered to go. So those are, those signs that you have to take time and, reevaluate and say, hey, I have less time ahead of me than I do behind me. And you can't waste time entertaining, many times I call them devils, or, shepherds for the devil, because most narcissists, they have a demonic spirit to them, and they can truly wreck your emotional being, your mental health. Your children could break their self-esteem down, could have them thinking, either all men or all women, they are not either stable or they don't stay, because narcissists are quick to discard. So when they've gotten what they needed, or they feel like they're cornered and you're not buying what they're selling, which is a load of manipulation combined with manure, they tend to, jet out. They're out. Oh, I don't need you, or then everything is all about you, and all the problems are you. So again, take your time when those red flags come up, and if your mind and your heart is not aligning with this, sometimes our heart says, "Oh, well, the world says I should be married at a certain age." Or, I want what my friend or my parents have, many years of marriage. And every marriage is different, every relationship is different. So you have to go with the path that the Most High has designed for you. And when you align with, what the Most High has for you, believe me, life will not be easy, but it will be a lot more pleasant and joyful. So you want to keep that in mind. But I just wanted to touch on 10 items that I feel are, very important, and some things to consider, especially if you've come out of a traumatic, toxic relationship, and, you're feeling, really wiped out, and really in disbelief. Like, how could this person treat me? My family, my kids, my coworkers, depending on the type of relationship it was, whether it was a friendship or a romantic relationship or a parental relationship. You're wondering, like, wow, how could they have treated me that way? It's because narcissists, everything is all about them. And you have to, be mindful of that. If someone is always, discarding what you have to say, what you think, what your thoughts and so on are, then you gotta, reevaluate that. And many times that may mean cutting them out of your circle. So, and another thing, they will make everything all about you. Oh, I did this because of you, or because of what you did, and so on. Another thing, they speak of you to others as if they are the victim and that you have caused this and that and the other, when all the while it's them, but they're trying to build their, what they call flying monkeys, or they're trying to build their team. And it's a lot of times it's, anyone that will support them and who will go along with their program and don't really have anything to say, especially anything negative or something that's contrary to their beliefs and so on. So many times you'll look back and question yourself, like, how did this happen? And it's good to reflect and say, okay, well, moving forward, I won't allow this, or I won't go down this road, or I'll be mindful if I encounter this. But don't spend too much time there. And the reason why I say this, because narcissists are great manipulators, and they live their life manipulating other people and making your life a living hell. And it's all a game to them, because in reality, they don't care about anyone but themselves. So another thing that I have, I'm looking over here at my laptop, by the way, they execute those manipulating tactics through love bombing. That's buying you all these nice things, taking you all these nice places, and before you even get a chance to get home, get unpacked, they're on the phone calling you, texting you, and so on. And you don't really have a chance to think about it. You're like, this is kind of odd, this is a bit much, but it seems kind of nice. Or you start doubting yourself and your intuitions. So you want to avoid being bombarded with lots of gifts, or not be having that time to think, because again, this is a manipulation tactic. And when you look back in a romantic relationship and you find that you have more breakups than breakthroughs, or working towards a healthy relationship, that's another red flag. And that's something that you have to spend some time there and just say, okay, what worked, what didn't work, what do I want out of life, and what do I need to do to bring that into fruition in my life. And many times that means leaving those kind of people alone and addressing the parts of yourself that you didn't love or didn't acknowledge, or you let go by the wayside, so you don't attract that energy in the future. Another thing, they would do things, some of the most bizarre and hurtful things, say some of the most hurtful things, say, maybe criticize your cooking, and knowing that you put your hard work in, and also knowing that everybody has their own taste. Everybody has their own set of seasoning, what may be good to me may not be good to you, but it's not like I didn't put my good intention and efforts in there. It just wasn't to your liking, but they can say some of the most horrible things, and they'll do, all sorts of things, like even cheat, and then they'll justify it by saying, oh, well, I did that, because you weren't taking care of your womanly duties. But instead of putting that energy into what these so-called womanly duties that they were not getting, they'd rather put those energies into, someone else and ruining their life because they have really no intention but their immediate gratification. Um, another thing that they're, known for, they'll put on a show of being ever so kind, in front of other, mutual friends, co-workers, etc. But, you are left wondering, like, okay, why am I getting the Tasmanian devil when we're on it one-on-one or we're at home? Or, if it's an office relationship, I come into the office and they totally flip the wig and they're just downright mean and disrespectful. That is, another, I guess, description within a narcissist. It's all about show, and whoever can, really shine their ego, that's who they, give most of their attention or will address. But please note, they get bored very quick. And lastly, as far as like children, they have, it's no line that they draw. They will hurt, they will mistreat, they will, emotionally, physical, sexually abuse children, and then will turn it around and say, oh, they're liars, they're just like you, or you made them like this. I would never do such a thing. And then when you hear other sides of stories, you're like, wow, this person is really of the devil. They can really tell these bold-faced lies and hurt people and feel nothing about it. And, will do some of the most evil things, like, urinating on your child's bed. And, because once they get found out, then it's all about revenge. And their whole thing is, if you're not on their team and going along with their belief, you're against them. So revenge is their tactic of getting back, or, getting even, instead of, addressing whatever issues they are and working to positively resolve them. No, it's about, oh, you're not on my team, you're against me, and I have to get rid of you. And while I'm trying to get rid of you, I'm going to try to hurt you and break you down till you feel worthless. And that goes, they don't discriminate against adults. That includes children too. And lastly, the thing I want to touch on is they always think that they're smarter than everyone else, but they are often outsmarted by their mental health neglect. Many of these people that are narcissists, they have other mental health and emotional issues, and of course, those are ignored. And it just, it's almost like a big ball of bipolar, and you're on a bipolar roller coaster. You never know which part you're going to get, but most parts, I would say 75% of what you get from a narcissist is a lot of dysfunction and trauma. So just know that narcissistic abuse is real. It can be, very debilitating and hurtful, mentally and physically. And if you find yourself in one of these, situationships, no matter what kind it is, parental, romantic, work-related, so on and so on, it may be time to revalue your self-worth and your self-care. And, be okay with going against what the world says you should be doing with your life, because the world will have you all messed up, and you're, reaching out to these worldly people that are telling you what to do or how you should be living your life, and comparing you, your skin color, your size, and your bank account to others. You have to follow what, follow your heart, follow the path that, God is leading you on. And most importantly, do what makes you happy. And as long as it's pleasing to you and God, then you're in the right direction. And on that note, I would appreciate any questions, concerns, or I don't really want complaints, but I'll take those and address those. Just please be respectful, as I would, want to be respectful to you. And if this, resonated with you, or you feel that this would resonate with someone else, please be sure to share the video with others. And most importantly, like and subscribe to my channel, so when I do get on here and I do update with new content, you will be one of the first to know. And again, I welcome all constructive criticism and any questions. I definitely would love questions. On that note, please enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or depending on what part of the world you're in, and go out and be a blessing to others. There are so many people that are hurting. They may have a smile on their face, but you don't know what they may be going home to, or what they're going to work to. You never know if they're even going to a home. But these times, they could be just going to a vehicle. They could be going under a bridge to a bench. You just never know. And you could be the difference between someone wanting to end their life or seeing hope within you and say, you know what, I can do this, even if it's 1 hour at a time. Then, progress to 1 day at a time, 1 week at a time. So on that note, please spread love and go out and bless someone else.